This is Unit 5, Lesson 8, Solving Two-Step Inequalities. What's great about this lesson is that it's really nothing new. It's just slightly more complicated inequalities that you now know how to solve. We're going to do the same thing that we do when we look at multi-step equations. We look to see what's with the x and figure out which to undo first. So in this case, the x is over there on the left, and there's a 3 being multiplied and an 8 being added. So we're going to undo the added 8 first by subtracting 8 from each side. That's what we need to pay attention to. Does subtracting 8 mean we switch the inequality symbol? It does not. So we keep it just the same, and so we're left with 3x is greater than -9, because -1 plus -8 is -9. Now we need to divide both sides by 3. We think about it. Is dividing by a positive number going to change anything? It is not. So we go ahead and simplify each side. We get x is greater than -3. Example 2. Here we've got an undo a divided 4 and a 7 that is a positive 7. That minus sign goes with the x over 4. So we need to undo by subtracting 7 on each side. Now that's what we need to pay attention to. Does subtracting mean we change anything? It does not. So we're going to be left with negative x over 4 is greater than 2. At this point, we need to undo that divided 4, but we have to pay attention to the fact that it's a negative x over 4, and we want that to become a positive x. So we're going to multiply each side by -4. That's what we pay attention to. Multiplying by a negative means we need to switch that inequality symbol. So when we simplify, we get an x on the left and a -8 on the right, and we change the greater than symbol to a less than symbol. X is less than -8. Make sure you change that symbol when you multiply by a negative number. Example 3. There's our x on the right. We're going to first undo by adding 4 to each side. Think to yourself, does adding change the inequality? It does not, so we're going to go ahead and simplify each side. 25 is less than or equal to -5x. Now we're going to undo what's with the x, which is a -5, multiplied by dividing by -5 on each side. When we do that, we have to pay attention. Dividing by a negative means we're going to switch that inequality symbol. So on the left, we get 25 divided by -5 is -5. We get on the right is an x, and we change that less than or equal to into a greater than or equal to. Now remember, we don't want to leave it this way. We want to mirror image the whole thing so that the x is on the left. We notice that the inequality symbol is kind of pointing. The pointy end is toward the x, so when we write it the other way around, still got the pointy end toward the x, so it's x is less than or equal to -5. Example 4. Now we're going to undo that 10, that positive 10, by doing a -10, a subtracted 10 from each side. We pay attention to that. Tells us we don't need to change anything. Subtracting is okay. It keeps the inequality the same. So 8 minus 10 is -2. -2 is less than or equal to x over 2. We're going to undo the divided 2 by multiplying each side by 2. Multiplying by a positive number does not change anything. So we simply simplify each side. We get -4 on the left. It doesn't matter that it ends up being a negative number. What we did to each side was multiply by a positive, so we're not changing anything, and we keep that inequality symbol the same. The only thing that we want to do is mirror image it so that its x is greater than or equal to -4. All right. Pause the video and go ahead and give the examples a try. Example 5, we're going to add 2 to both sides, and we're going to divide each side by 3. We're dividing by a positive number, so we keep that inequality symbol the same. X is greater than -6. All right, example 6, we're going to first subtract 5 from each side, then we're going to multiply each side by -4. Because we multiplied by a negative, we need to switch that inequality symbol. And then at the end, we're going to mirror image the whole thing, so everything swaps sides, and the inequality symbol also is the mirror image. X is less than or equal to 8. That's it. Put your note sheet in your binder. I'll see you tomorrow.